Welcome back to another Minetest mod review. Today we are looking at the Breadcrumb mod, which it doesn't add crumbs of bread. So if that's what you're looking for, I'm sorry, this isn't the mod you're looking for. What it does add is these little markers, and you can use them to mark a path. So let us start by looking at the craft recipe. So we have, here we go. It can be crafted with 4 pieces of wood and 1 stick, and I'll give you 8 blank markers. Or you can use a marked marker and turn that back into a blank marker. So I have 2 stacks of markers here. Now, unfortunately, the markers don't tell you like what they're marked as, but these 50 are 1 stack. These 3 are another. You'll see they can't be stacked on top of each other. They are different. So, I don't remember which of these. Oh, actually, the info text lets us know. So we have the gingerbread house. This is marker number 10 here, 91 meters from the last marker. And we have test number 7, which is 13 meters from the last marker. You can punch these and they don't do anything. However, if you right click on them, they will shoot little particles. Shoot particles? Are these particles being shot? I don't know. There's little particles that will travel. I guess travel is probably better than teleport. They will travel from when you clicked on to the previous one in the list. So here we see test 6 is 16.3 meters away, right over there. And this one, we can see number 9 is over here, 94 meters away. And these particles will keep going for about a minute, as will the text on these other markers. And after about a minute, it disappears. So that gives us about a minute to walk over. We have both the text on the screen to go off of, and we have the little particles here floating in the air to pretty much lead us on our way. And then we can just right click on this one, and we'll get a little line going over. And we'll get some text on the screen letting us know where that next position is. Now, these particles do just take a direct path, so they go underground if necessary, which is why we're not seeing any particles, but we should see. Okay, I thought we would see some coming out of the ground here to get there. Maybe not. Okay, so then from test 5, we can see that test 4 is right over here. And I just lost my gingerbread house, but it's here, which is, I don't know where that's going. It's going, because gingerbread house, that's right, that's in a cave underground. So that's going to here. Now, these do only work in one direction, or as far as I've been able to tell. So test 5 is still visible because that's one I just punched on. And test 3 is not visible because I haven't punched this one yet. So if we do this, these are heading over to test 3. Test 5 is now no longer visible. And this particle system will stop shortly. And we will sit here till it does to try and get the particles to go the opposite direction back to number 5. Okay, they should have stopped by now. Wait a minute, what in the... Okay, there they go. So we can punch this, and it doesn't do anything. We can right-click, it just makes them go over there. Sneak, punch, and click doesn't do anything. Now we can break it if we hold the stack of markers. Now this is the wrong stack, so I don't think that'll... Yeah, that doesn't work. Okay, and I can't break it with that either. Okay. Thought I could break these somehow. I can break them with an axe, but that'll just make it disappear. And then even though it's broken, I can... Oh, I remember now. I can run over here, and this will still update to that position, I believe, even though that doesn't exist anymore. Yep, so it still shows it even though it's not there. I have to go to the last one to take these down. Which was someplace this on the beaches by the papyrus, was it? I think. It's kind of a ways away. Oh, right here, not by the papyrus. Okay, perfect. So this is test, so I should be able to take, because this is the last one in the... Yep, because it's the last one in the list. I am able to pick it up by just punching it, holding that stack of markers in hand. I'm going to try doing the same, but holding the other stack of markers, and see if it's dependent on which stack of markers you're holding. It is. Or not, because I can't break this either way. Interesting. Very interesting. I don't think there's a test 6 floating around out here someplace, is there? I guess we could find out by doing this. Test 7. Okay, so there is a test 6 floating around out here someplace. That's super. I don't know where. Is it this one on the tree? It might be this one over here on the tree. Which also means that one that I just placed is now number 7, so that's the one I need to break. You know, I wonder what happens now, though, if I click on this. It does show me where 6 is. Okay. So I can punch it to pick it up. Run over to 6. I should have enabled fast so I could actually run. But that's alright. We can get to 6 and I can pick it up. First I will right click on it so it can show me where 5's at. Which I think 5 doesn't exist anymore. That's the one we broke. Yeah. So essentially this is what it does. It puts out little waypoints, more or less, so you can easily find your way back. This is kind of how would we best describe this? It's like leaving trail markers, pretty much. Like, I don't know how many of you do, you know, woodsman stuff, or go hunting, or even just hike in the woods, but you know how you like leave little markers on the trails where you're going? Well, usually you do it when there's not trails, but either use like tissue paper and tie it to a tree branch, something that'll deteriorate over time preferably, because you really don't want to be making a mess of the woods, or stacking stones, or lying sticks out, or even scratching arrows into the ground, whatever your preferred method is. And it helps you once you have, you know, hiked as far as you want to go and you want to turn around and find your way back to your vehicle so you can, you know, drive back home. It basically does the same thing. It doesn't really help, in this case, anybody that's trying to follow you, because if I run over to wherever number 1 is this my first one? No, this is the 3rd one. Okay, so we don't want that one. That's the 2nd one here. The first one is on this tree here. So anybody else who is coming along trying to follow me, like, oh, gingerbread house 1, where's gingerbread house 2? Gingerbread house 2, where's gingerbread house 2? And it won't show them where gingerbread house 2 is. So it only helps them find their way back to where I started, not to where I am. So if you're using this, say for in a cave or something, so you don't get lost, which I feel is like the intended use case, it only helps you find your way back out. It won't help you find your way back into the same spot in the future, because everyone just points to the previous one in the list. And like I mentioned previously, you can break with an axe items in the center of the list, and the list will still work to the point where the next item higher will still point to where that one was, but you'll have no way once you get to where that position is to get back to the spot before it, because there's no way to get that particle system running to show you. So someplace out here there was a cave. There was no actual gingerbread house, though, just for the record. Here we go. Here's the cave. There was no gingerbread house, for the record. But in a cave, you know, you go in and you're trying to find your way back out. You've got these little particles. The particles, I don't know if they light up, but the signs do. Let me run in here a little deeper and knock out some of these lights. so we can have some actual darkness and see how the particles look in the dark. Alright, so it's pretty dark. It's glowing a little bit. Sending particles through the ceiling. It's hard to say if the particles themselves are actually lit at all. It kind of looks like they probably are. I guess we could do this to find out. Okay, particles probably are not lit, and also I don't have a pickaxe, so that was kind of genius. And again, we can see our previous ones, so we can find our way out, assuming, of course, we don't just follow our trail of torches. This cave is pretty basic. Well, the extent of it that I explored anyway. So you probably could get by with just torches, but sometimes you have caves that are going all off in all kinds of different directions. And you need something a little more than just random torches. And that's where this comes in. Now, of course, if you're going off in too many random directions, and then you're trying to like loop back and stuff, what you'd have to do is you go out till you hit the dead end, then as you come back, pick up your signs, and then go down the next, where there's a fork in the cave, place your signs back out, and then pick them back up as you're coming back. Because otherwise you're going to end up going down one path just to turn around and come back, to then go down the next path to then turn around and come back. You actually wouldn't have to, because you can skip numbers as you're going back. So like this is, pointing to that way over there, but obviously I can also click on any one of these. Like this one's pointing to that, but if I see these three and I know this is the one that I actually want, because the one before this is the actual way out, I can just click this and skip over those. Yeah, so I mean, you kind of have to pay attention, I guess, to how you're setting it up so you can really utilize it to its fullest potential. But that is the breadcrumb mod. It's a good way to kind of keep track. Similar ones, there's like the hiking mod, which just gives you signs with arrows in different colors so you can kind of mark a path, but it doesn't give any information about how far to the next marker, and it definitely doesn't do the little particles, which may or may not be helpful. Again, they don't care if they're going through ground, so sometimes the particles kind of don't help at all. But at least you do have the text from the sign showing. So when the particles are hidden in the ground, you can still see this where the next sign's at for about a minute. So I guess when you're placing them, you kind of want to pay attention that the distance between any sets you can cover easily in a minute, so you don't lose track of where it is you're trying to go. And yeah, that is the breadcrumb mod. So links will all be on my website, as always, linked down in the video description again, as always. Thanks for watching. Tune in next week for another mod review, and I will see you then.